Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, the enlightened and excited Eddie V. Joining me is the Eddie Insider himself, Mr. Dan Murphy.
Hello from Austin, everybody.
Yes, is the devastating Dungeoneer himself, Mr. David Lasky.
Happy holidays, everybody.
And our special guest, he is host of Crossroads, one of my good friends, my best friends, the Gunner Hunter himself, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Welcome, LeRon. This is your actual first episode of Pow Block, like a full episode. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Finally here on Boss. I mean on Pow Block. So I'm on Boss Rush all the time. So but yeah, finally here on Pow Block, and I'm excited. You know, I know if anyone has seen me in the Twitch chats when the show is live, they know I'm kind of like an instigator and a troublemaker when it comes to the realm of Nintendo. So I'll try and rein it in tonight because
he only does that when I come in the chat. Be like, hi, everybody. Oh, like, here go the Nintendo voice. Like, great. I'm like, here I am to spread Sony love, too. And so, but how are you guys doing? How was your weekend?
Things are good, man. I started getting into a new game this weekend that I will tell you about in Playing with Power, and kind of just relaxed.
What about you, David?
I've undergone the indie conversion. Playing the games that I'll talk about later as well, but I finally took you all up on some suggestions, and I'm now an indie convert. So,
and LeRon, what about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. Not too exciting. None too exciting. Just tinkered around my computer most of the weekend. I had a couple of Christmas parties to go to. So one of them was like an actual like event, and the other one was a Christmas dinner at a hibachi restaurant, which that's my highlight. I go there. I've been invited there every year since this company became our service clients for my IT job, and it's always a blast. So yeah, had fun, ate some good food and stuff, and then Sunday I got brutalized by my personal trainer for a workout. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do real soon because my personal trainer, he's moving. His wife picked up a gig in Atlanta. So after 4 years, I'm back to being in the wilds of working out and trying to keep myself disciplined. So I got to figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay. I don't know. I'm scared, y'all.
Yeah, for sure, everybody.
I'm gonna get fat. I'm scared.
You're not gonna get fat. We will make sure that you continue on your weight journey because you're doing good. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And I will continue to root you on. Fortunately for me, everybody, I had to work. I missed Boss Rush Podcast, the last episode. I really wanted to be there, but my schedule got changed, and then Sunday I had to close. So I kind of miss you guys, miss talking to you. But I was really good this weekend, being able to get some games done, pushing through Cyberpunk. But we'll get to that stuff later. We're going to jump into some housekeeping. This is episode 226 of Nintendo Pow Block Podcast. Each and every week we come together to talk about games and everything we love about them with our friends. You could join us live on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/BossRushGames Live and be a part of the conversation. But you can't join us live, no big deal. You can head over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and BossRushGames.com to watch the show or listen on your podcast service of choice. Remember to subscribe, follow, rate, and review wherever you consume us. It helps us out with discoverability. And check out our family of shows wherever you listen to your podcast. Everybody, I am working on trying to get everybody live, so that is one of our big goals for next year. This is our last episode for 2020, and we got a really great show for you because thank you, LeRon, I guess.
Well, no. It's a big deal because I mean, Crossroads is off this week, but we'll be back next week for our final show for 2020.
Okay. Yes, Arsenal X, they did their final show for the year, so we're kind of wrapping things up for Boss Rush, but we will be back definitely on the 4th of January. We are going to be doing our Game of the Year discussion and some other topics before we get into it, and hopefully by that time, everybody, we will be live. You guys will be able to check us out. because I got to get the show running and stuff. We got some great ideas that is coming in 2024, and Dan will be hosting our not the show, but he'll be doing our next quiz show, so you guys will be able to check that out. I will be participating, so I may win somebody a gift card, and we'll see what goes with that. I was thinking about it, Dan. I was just like, what is he gonna ask that I don't know about Nintendo or like gaming? Because even though this is multiple choice, if I could hear something to be like, oh, I know what that is, I I'm not competitive, but I feel like I may get some things right, but I may get a lot wrong depending on what the question is. I'm trying to get knowledgeable in my Japanese. I'm trying to get knowledgeable in my UK.
Oh my goodness.
And everything.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I haven't tested the waters with your video game knowledge. I've always known it's just superior, but I haven't tested it. So we're gonna find out when we do this game show.
Smart money's on Ed.
Feel bad for anybody who gets the other guys.
I actually want to do one for Crossroads, and I tried to do one for AX, but Corey said no. But
why do you say no?
I don't know. I have not one idea.
If he probably thinks you're gonna be a troublemaker like you are in the chat. That's all.
Which I'm like, I'm not a troublemaker. Well, I guess I am a troublemaker.
I've seen you in that Crossroads chat.
I'm not in the Crossroads chat.
No, he means when the Crossroads people get involved with your shenanigans.
Oh, it makes the discussion more entertaining, I should say. But we are going to get into our Snack-tendo, and I'm going to start with our special guest, LeRon. What have you been snacking on?
You know what I've been snacking on because you're the one that put him in my hand. The Haribo Smurf Gummies. Oh my god! Like those things are deceptively good. I mean, of course, like they're the blue and white gummies, look just like the Smurfs, and they got the blue and red ones, for Papa Smurf and stuff like that. And it's funny trying to figure out like the mix of the flavor because you're thinking blueberry and you're thinking like the white, which is pineapple, or you're thinking the red, which is cherry.
Yes.
But it seems like it's all one flavor, but it's not a distinctive enough flavor for you to figure out, so like that. But it's delicious. I will say that much. I mean, Ed, I have fat boy tendencies. So those 5 bags you sent me are already done.
The thing about that is that I was running around because I'm just like, I just can't send him this mac and cheese. I was just like, let me get these, let me get this, let me get that, and I was just like, let me give him a full package and send it to him.
Yeah.
And don't worry, David and Daniel, you guys are going to get yours Thursday. You're actually going to love, and a lot of people are going to be loving what I get them. So just beware. But was that all on your Snack-tendo or anything else?
That and from that Christmas dinner I told you about, like the ladies from that it's a CPA firm that I do their IT work for and stuff like that, and they know I have a sweet tooth, so they're always throwing like goodies and stuff my way and stuff like that. Saturday night at the end of the dinner, they gave me like a surprise. They gave me a giant Christmas bag full of these. They're the ginger snap cookies, like yes. how they're hard and they're crunchy and all that stuff. Well, these aren't ginger snaps. They're chocolate and some type of mint. So it's almost like it's a hard brownie chip.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they're like this big. So yeah, I got like a stack of them like this high, and so I don't know what they are, but they're delicious. So I'm just gonna call them brownie crisps.
Brownie crisps.
And they're amazing because I like hard candy and like desserts like this when I can go either way with cookies. If I know a cookie can be hard or soft, I can go either way. But these are a home run.
Nice. David, what have you been snacking on? What's your Snack-tendo?
Well, I love coffee. So lately I've been getting some stuff to dip in my coffee. So I've been kind of eating too many shortbread cookies that I've been dipping in my coffee. So I love that. Also, been eating some garden salsa sun chips, which are my favorite kind of sun chips.
You know what? I love the cheddar ones. The garden ones
The ones are pretty good, but actually the garden ones have like a little zip to them, which I really like. And then also
I had to ask you.
Yeah.
Can you eat half of a bag of sun chips in one sitting? Because they're so
for
good.
Sure. Oh man, when I get Subway, like sun chips with my Subway, I'm done.
I could eat 3 bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sun chips are so. My friend, he got me hooked on sun chips, and I was just like, I need another bag.
And then the last thing, I made another batch of homemade bourbon cider, and it's been
nice.
It's been helping me be extra patient with my teenage sons.
He's at that age. Hey, what about you, Dan? What have you been snacking on?
Well, this isn't really my week for Snacktendo since I got my wisdom teeth out last Tuesday. So you really don't want to hear about all the yogurt and applesauce I've been eating. So I'll pass.
Well, actually, I love some good yogurt and some good Mott's applesauce. You remember? I don't know if
you
you
might
guys
like getting your wisdom teeth pulled then.
But he probably can't have the yogurt that has the granola crumble mixtures and stuff in it.
I don't like all of that.
Ugh.
Oh, that's what makes the yogurt good.
Exactly.
No, see, they used to do so. Y'all remember? I don't know if y'all remember the Lifesavers cream ones.
Oh yeah,
the hard candy.
Yeah,
they used to do yogurt of those.
They did. My grandma.
The flavors,
used to buy
I remember those.
Those. I used to almost buy like 3 packs and be done with them within a day. They were so good. My stomach hurt after a while. But man, they were so good.
You guys thought I had control issues.
Oh shoot, LeRon, you already got on me. Just be like, see, Eddie, there you go again. You can the checkers. What you come back with? What fries? Did you go to Burger King? I'm like, oh yeah.
No. What was that one thing you had that one night? Because you had some crazy mixture, and then you had some crazy mix of food, and then you had a Code Red Mountain Dew, and I was like, all that food and that red caffeine, sugar, and food coloring, man. Your dreams are gonna be lit that night.
Was it? It was the one. It was the one that I bought Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
Because I had that. Okay, so I had that pizza. I had the Mountain Dew, and I had Hyrule Warriors. And everything was red. I didn't plan it to be that way, but it just happened. That pizza was good too, and that Mountain Dew was wow.
Man,
yeah,
I swear, like psychedelic dreams happen to me whenever I have like any type of red or orange sodas at night before I go to bed with food. Yeah, it's the food colors and all the food coloring and all the freaking like preservatives and mixtures of all the other food.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, for me, so I've been we just got in my job the new Pringles scorchers. So they're Pringle flavors that's very, very spicy. They got chili and lime, barbecue and cheddar. And so I ate the cheddar. The cheddar ones are good. The barbecue is on fire. The barbecues are really good. These are really spicy ones. I haven't tasted the lime one yet, but pretty much those two I've eaten. They're just so good. Been eating Twisters, the soft pack, because they've been 2 for $5 lately. So I've been maxing through the soft Twisters, the pull and peel ones. I love the pull and peel ones. But that's pretty much what I've been snacking on. Nothing yet, because I'm waiting for our Christmas candy to go down on sale so I can give you a couple of bags of some stuff. But other than that, like nothing else. Like I really haven't been eating too much fast food or anything new. So, and I haven't tried the roast beef ramen yet. So I'm still waiting to get that one.
I'm still blown away that I had ramen the other day because I've been eating a lot of soup, and I thought about it. I was like, how the hell has Ed made it this far in life without having the beef ramen?
No, so I
grew up eating that.
Right. I had the beef ramen, but what I had was roast beef. it's a new flavor. Roast beef I've never seen in stores, so it's brand new, and the pork one is brand new. Like I said, I was in Wisconsin and they had it. I'm like, what is this? I've never seen it. I could find the beef ones anywhere. I prefer the beef ones over the chicken. The
Me
ramen.
too. Me too.
But I want some real ramen, and all the ramen shops are closed.
I had some for lunch today, actually.
Food.
You know what? Why are all the damn ramen shops closed? Like the two that are close by me are closed, and it's like, don't y'all like making money?
Right. I don't know, because there's a ramen shop that's like 45 minutes. Like I had to drive up, but it's in a Japanese mall, and so I could go to their food court, get it, and then go and shop and get some Japanese candy and food and stuff. But I think they're still closed, and because I want to go, I miss going there. Because I'll go there, get my ramen, get some snacks, and then come home, or I'll go to another place, get some sushi there, with some good miso soup, and then come back home. But yeah, I love Asian food. Like, LeRon, if you think you're gonna be gain a little weight because of snacks, like Haribo stuff, you put some ramen, you put some Asian food in me, and it'll just disappear. Like
you know what my vice is when it comes to Asian food, freaking egg rolls, and wontons.
yes,
I have zero control. I have zero control issues when it comes to that stuff. Especially
wontons, if they're steamed, that's the way to go.
It doesn't matter. Steamed, fried, I don't care. Like dumplings, you know what? Don't take me to a Sunday morning restaurant and they have like the dim sum platters and all that stuff. So I don't need to order an actual meal.
I'll just have that. What about you, David? Asian food? Chinese food?
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you before that that most of my family, except my son, is vegan, and so Asian food and Latin food are really easy, and Indian food as well. I eat a lot of, just because it's so easy to get plant-based stuff.
I cannot find an Indian place. I want to go and like literally have some good curry and have plates there, and I can't find nothing.
I
love stuff with good kick.
Yeah, Indian food I haven't got on board with yet.
Oh.
It's like I'll eat it, but I don't seek it out.
I could eat Mexican food and Indian food every day of my life and never complain.
I hope to meet LeRon in person so I can have one of his nacho plates. I already told him that, look, I would take you to the grocery store, buy you every ingredient that you need, and then put $25 extra for you just to make it, to make sure that I pay for labor so I can have it.
Oh well, one of these days. I like to cook, so like I sometimes I just need an occasion to cook sometimes.
Yes. Well, everybody, we're gonna get to our game fact events, and Dan, it is your turn to give us our game fact events.
All right. You guys have played The Legend of Zelda, the original, on Nintendo, right?
Yes.
You know how many rupees you can hold in that one?
999.
No, and I know the answer, so I'm not going to say it.
Wait. So you can't hold just under 1,000?
No, it's 255.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yes. So 255 is kind of a strange number, and I wondered why. And the answer isn't really interesting, but it's kind of interesting. So in the 8-bit era, you really can only hold info in a single byte, and a single byte holds the value from 0 to 255. So it's kind of like when you're doing like a color change palette, there's 255 different colors on each palette because that's one byte. So the rupees, they could only be in one byte on the storage for the original Zelda, and that's why we have 255 for the rupees.
That's why Pac-Man. That's why the original Pac-Man game glitches on a 256 board.
Yes,
like it glitches to the game eventually crashes.
I thought there was an ending to Pac-Man. Oh no,
there isn't.
It repeats. Yeah, I'm thinking of the Nintendo one that Namco did, for the NES. I thought that one had the ending to it.
I love that fact, Dan. I only knew that one because I recently failed that on a Zelda quiz. And, you know, I love everything. I mean, I grew up in the 8-bit era, so I'm nostalgia lenses are on for sure. But I just love all the quirkiness of the 8-bit gaming era with stuff like that, and that's a favorite fact.
I think because I was thinking Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past that they went up, they had the most rubies and stuff. Because 255, I'm like, you have already bought your stuff. Like all you need is like the candle, and if you're good enough, you don't really need to buy the
defense
potion.
ring for like 250, I think it is.
Yeah.
In that, and then all your rupees are gone. You just have to start again.
Yes. Well, thank you for that game fact events. We will have another one next time.
I think
I'll
you're up.
see. Huh?
I think you're up on the game fact next time.
Yes, I am.
Nice.
And I'm going to find a good one for you guys because I think I'm going to actually go to the UK because we really haven't talked about Nintendo in the UK, or I think it was known as the Famicom also in the UK. So, so LeRon, if you've been listening to our shows, our Game Fact events is about Nintendo stuff that people might not know of or anything, and we research it and tell a little bit about, talk about it. Go ahead, David.
I haven't caught any of the recent shows.
I just thought for sure that we were going to get something about Sephiroth from Dan. I was all ready.
Everybody already knows everything about him, so.
Yes, I mean Final Fantasy for the Nintendo 64 DD was an interesting thing, but I don't think it was going to be the one that came out for PlayStation 1. I think it's going to be a completely total thing. So we may have never got Sephiroth.
Actually, I thought Final Fantasy 64 or for the 64 DD was supposed to be basically an upgrade of Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah, it was. If you look in the tech demos, Locke is the main character in that tech demo.
Yeah, because I recently watched something on the history of because like Cyberpunk is like just dominating the news, and so I watched something about how times when companies have debuted something as a reveal and it's completely different from what we wind up with, and Nintendo and the Zelda franchise and Square with the Final Fantasy franchise were like the biggest offenders of this problem. Like, I mean, everyone thinks that Mass Effect pulls the wool over everybody's eyes and stuff, but nah, like Nintendo and Square Enix, well, SquareSoft back in those days, they were the biggest offenders of doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. The original Twilight Princess trailer, that was I can't remember which E3 that was at, but some people still really want the game that was viewed there to actually get released.
It's kind of like how
right.
Yeah.
That one's kind of like how everyone clamored for Final Fantasy VII Remake for over a decade after seeing that tech demo. Cloud jumping off the train at the number 7 Mako reactor facility.
I was one of those for sure.
That was a big year for Sony. Like they were showing hits, and like they completely won E3. And then because I think they also showed Shenmue 3 with that one, with the Final Fantasy VII Remake reveal.
No. I'm talking about back in the day when the PS3 was just out for the first year. Yeah. I'm talking about that one. Right. I'm talking about that one. And they were like, "Oh, it's a tech demo." And then we finally did see that intro as the ending of Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy PSP game, which I can't remember the title of it right now, but that was the best out of all the Final Fantasy VII, sequel projects. Yeah, Crisis Core. Thank you. I don't know why it was avoiding me, but I was remembering Dirge of Cerberus. Now that I was like, I know that was not correct.
Yes, that was the first person shooter.
I know that one was
that
that one's trash. But yeah, okay, sorry.
No, this is Pow Block.
I said I wasn't going to run my mouth, and here I am doing it.
LeRon, you're on Boss Rush. Don't be just you forgot what network that you're on. So, well, everybody, that's our Game Fact events. Extra, I guess. And now we're not going to be doing news this week, so there's no Femi news, but we got a Doc Mo Deluxe edition for it. And
as an interloper, can you explain Doc Mo Deluxe? Because I saw that and I was like, what is that?
Okay, so Doc Mo is where we have our discussions,
Mhm.
and
It's our
so
main topic.
yeah, so with
Oh.
our deluxe one, we got more topics. We got more main topics to talk about. So we actually have the freedom to talk about different things. And just like stuff that we might bring up in the chat to be like, oh, this may be a good idea to talk about it and everything. And so I was just like, since Nintendo likes to call some of their stuff deluxe, like Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe or Mario Kart Deluxe, like I was just like, let me use the deluxe thing, because it used to be like Super Mario DX or something like that. So I was just like, that was their deluxe one. So when we have a bigger discussion, we'll do a deluxe.
Okay, I thought maybe you called it Doc Mo Deluxe because you've come around to Switch Pro coming out in the spring, and it's
No. I still don't think Switch Pro is happening in the spring. I just wrote with Dan to have that discussion. I still don't think it's coming in March, but we will touch on about that later. Trust me.
Wait, we haven't talked about this yet. Can we talk about it?
Well, we're gonna say that one for later. Well, we're gonna start with our first topic: Cyberpunk versus Hyrule Warriors. With reading and seeing all the events that has happened with both games, what do you think would have happened in November if these games released originally as planned? So, Cyberpunk was gonna be releasing, I think, still that Thursday in November before Hyrule Warriors releasing that next day. Now that we know that Cyberpunk is having a hard time, with it being pulled from PSN, all the crashes, the bugs, new information that the investors are doing a class lawsuit against them, that might be happening. Microsoft still got their game on the store, but they're offering refunds. People started reporting that they started taking the game off the shelf for both systems, for physical. So there's just
who's pulling them? The retailers or CD Projekt Red recalling?
It may be CD Projekt Red, but some people just like retailers been pulling it. And I thought because of Sony taking it down when that happened, that people would be buying this game in retail stores, like it was sold out, and they were just like, no, people who went there, they said that the games was gone, that they took them off.
There might be something going on, like depending on the retailers, there might be something going on the corporate entities for these retailers are saying, hey, don't sell these games until we know that they're fixes, because when you have a situation like this where the consumer, like me, like I go in and buy this game and I know I can get a refund for it, I can just, what's to say I can't just walk in the door, beat the game within 7 days, and come back and say, hey, I didn't enjoy this game, I want my money back. When you know there's an open policy right now for a refund.
I just looked it up, by the way. So it hasn't been pulled out of retail stores. It's been pulled off the Sony PlayStation Store.
Okay, so no physical copies have been pulled.
Physical copies are still being sold at stores.
Okay.
But people are having a hard time refunding them because Cyberpunk came out and they said that they would offer, you can go get a refund for your game, and if the store doesn't give you the refund, to reach out to them and they'd help. But the stores are pushing back on this because it's not up to CD Projekt Red for GameStop and Best Buy to give you your money back. So,
well, I've also learned because of my job, because even though I'm an IT guy, we also do sales. So we do sales of new hardware, like particularly just computers and like computing equipment and stuff like that. I learned recently, after I took on the director role for the company, that anytime we do a refund, it's actually more expensive to do the refund than it is to actually just give them back the money, because then we have to contact the merchants, and the merchants are going to take their fee away from us for the so basically we lost the merchant's fee in the initial sale, and we lose more in the refund. We don't just lose the money that we originally like made. We also lose an additional amount of money. So a lot of these retail companies they're doing whatever they can to sidestep it, and CD Projekt Red is trying to do right by the customers and saying, hey, like if they can't help you, we will try to help you, but
it's not guaranteed.
I've been hearing more and more that and I tell people is like, if you got Cyberpunk and you're not enjoying it right now, like just look at all the people who bought Mass Effect Andromeda, and now the game has been infinitely patched and stuff. It's a completely playable and somewhat enjoyable game. Like this is the same thing's gonna be with Cyberpunk. Just hold on to your $60. I mean, either hold on to your $60 and not buy the game, or hold on to your product and come back to it when like they've put the massive patches out. Go ahead.
For this discussion, Dan and David haven't played it, but they played Hyrule Warriors. Me and LeRon, we played Cyberpunk. And LeRon hasn't played Hyrule Warriors. I have played both games. And the thing about it, let's focus on Hyrule Warriors first. I know, LeRon, you had problems with the frame rate with this game.
With the demo. I'm not gonna say anything about the final game because I don't know how the final game turned out, and I plan on buying this as a physical release. This is one of those games where I feel like I'm weird when it comes to Nintendo titles. Like it's like, is it a physical title or is it a digital title? 9 times out of 10, I'm getting a physical copy for certain games, like Zelda games. I'm going to get physical copies for, with the exception of my Link's Awakening. I want a digital code for that, so that's the only digital Zelda game I have right now.
The box is so beautiful, though. I love that artwork. I love that box artwork. So Hyrule Warriors runs better than Cyberpunk.
They both have their issues, though. So if we're comparing them to their launches, I don't really think that there's I don't think things would have turned out differently. The people who are buying Hyrule Warriors are still going to buy Hyrule Warriors. Cyberpunk still sold 8 million copies pre-sale. So I mean, they both had their problems. Like, no matter what, even if you liked Hyrule Warriors, the frame rate issue is an issue. There's too many enemies on the screen. The frame rate drops to like 12 FPS at some point, and they shouldn't have done that for the first map. That's your first impression. And that one was far and away the worst map too. So that's what turns people away from it.
But the thing with Cyberpunk is that you really wasn't getting a sense when it came to find out that CD Projekt Red had hidden what PS4 and Xbox One was doing for the actual game.
Actually, hold on. Let me say something, because I've been doing a lot of research on this. Like, I mean, everyone knows that I was planning on getting Cyberpunk on the PC. But when I started hearing about the troubles that the console versions were having, I really started doing a deep dive. Okay, now I will say this: CD Projekt, the home company, and CD Projekt Red, the developers, were never really deceptive about how the game was going to play on the systems all the way up to the Stadia and the PC. What they did do in some cases was it seemed like they omitted information, which is not, in my opinion, is not really a sin, because they were honestly trying to work on they built for PC. So that's where a lot of the resources are going. Stadia is damn near PC quality, except you're streaming it. So I suspect that Stadia wasn't going to have problems. The next thing they had to focus on was the next gen consoles, like the PS5 and the Series X and the S's. And then, the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's kind of weird, because I feel like they should have been developing for that, but given that their focus was on the PC version, I can understand why it went by the wayside.
I think it was the assumption that when you show something like this in the Microsoft conference, that you're showing it for Xbox One.
You don't really believe that, do you?
Well,
Because
everybody who was watching E3, because Microsoft sometimes do say that this game is coming for Xbox One and PC, but I think when they did Cyberpunk, that they said it was like coming for Xbox One. So everybody thinking that it's coming to console. They didn't expect the game to be delayed and being on next gen, because even when CD Projekt showed that, when CD Projekt revealed that Keanu Reeves was going to be in it, they weren't showing any gameplay. It was still CGI that they created to let you know that this idea is going to be in the game, but it's not going to fully be like this.
Let's look at the history of E3s real fast, especially the Microsoft press events.
Well, before you go, LeRon, David, any thoughts first? I want to get your thoughts first.
Yeah, I do have some thoughts, but it's at a slightly different angle. So if LeRon wants to take it first, and then you can come back to me, because I do have some thoughts, but from a different perspective.
Okay, go LeRon.
This is one of the things I talk about on Crossroads when I do my nice dialogues, about the state of gaming and stuff like that. Gamers need to manage their expectations, and they also need to look at the writing on the wall sometimes. And what I was going to say a moment ago, like if we look at the history of E3 pressers for Microsoft, they've been dragged out of the closet for years on end, that every time we see like a big reveal, it winds up being found out later that it was on PC, that was being demoed on PC. The original Watch Dogs at the Ubisoft event, that was an ender for one of the Microsoft shows for the Xbox 360. Yeah, that demo was running on PC. Ubisoft again. One of the Assassin's Creed games running on PC. Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red develops for PC, so even though they revealed it at a Microsoft show, that
I think the thing about it is that when you see the trailer, when you're visually seeing it, none of that is actually in the game. When you get the game, it doesn't look like that.
Well, historically, reveal trailers are almost never gameplay, though.
And I think that's why when people look at Nintendo Direct and they always showing you what the game that you're going to get, even when they show Hyrule Warriors, they showed you what the game is actually going to be when you put it in your system. Mm-hmm. Excuse me about that. More people want to see that, and
Nintendo. The one thing I will say, Nintendo has their own style about stuff. I will say that Nintendo has their own style about stuff. Nintendo, though, is a first party company, though. Mm-hmm. Nintendo doesn't develop games for other people's systems. They develop games for their own systems, or they have developers put games on their systems, so they have a different type of luxury that not all these companies can afford. BioWare can't afford that, being a branch of EA, because they answer to EA. Who's another company?
Ubisoft.
Rare.
Yeah,
like they don't have the luxury of they don't have those. I'm saying luxury, but that's definitely the wrong word, because it's not a luxury thing for them. It's when Nintendo puts something out. So with the exception of like the Zelda reveal that we talked about earlier and stuff like that, like 9 times out of 10 they're putting out something that has some substantial quality to it, whereas other companies, like, if I was a developer for say EA, I have to pitch the board of directors and the shareholders the idea. Yes. And then they have to turn around and say, okay, you can develop it. The other way around though, and Platinum Games is, they have a partnership with Nintendo. Nintendo publishes all their stuff. Platinum Games still has to pitch an idea to Nintendo. But Nintendo turns around and says, well, before you pitch the idea, we need to see some part of the content. And that's the main difference.
Actually, Nintendo has went to Platinum to do Bayonetta and Astral Chain. Platinum never went to Nintendo. Nintendo went to them.
Okay. I mean that's the possibility. I kind of know the history of Platinum Games with Nintendo, but like I said, ultimately, like, Platinum Games works for Nintendo right now.
Oh, go ahead, David.
Well, this actually relates to what I wanted to say. I think it's worth pausing for a moment and thinking about Nintendo's business model and how successful they've been versus these other companies, because we knew about Cyberpunk for a while, right? There was constant angst, frustration, grumbling about the delays. Seems like some misdirections from a number of parties involved.
They had a lot of crunch issues controversy too.
And contrast that with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We didn't hear a word about it. There wasn't a single spoiler. There wasn't a single announcement. We get an announcement 2 months before it drops, and it exceeds expectations. And I don't know. I just think there's something really smart, and Nintendo's got a lot of momentum in the way that they do things, and I think I prefer that. I love that just out of nowhere we got this mainline Zelda game,
right? Because
that
Nintendo
was really successful.
Yeah, because Nintendo is just like, we're shutting up. We're not showing you nothing. We're not talking about it. We will sidestep because we want to get this product ready. And when we feel like it's ready to show you, we'll show it to you. Other than that, we're shutting up. We're working on our game.
I wish Nintendo had done that for the past 4 years in Metroid Prime 4.
Well,
that's a fair count.
But you know what? They did. The thing about it is that because at the time nobody knew who was developing Metroid Prime 4. When they showed the picture, they were just announcing that it was in development. So we're thinking that, oh, Retro's getting it. Nope, Retro's doing something completely different. And when they bungled stuff in Japan, Nintendo scrapped all of that and handed it right back to Retro and gave Retro super money to actually pretty much restart the whole company and hire all of these people. So they restarted. Nintendo haven't been talking anything about Metroid Prime 4. Only thing we know about it is because of the job listings, and that's it.
What David says. Let me just say this real fast. Let me just say what David says about Nintendo's business model is honestly one of the best approaches. For real. I mean, because I like Nintendo's style of they don't show you a game until it's damn near ready to hit the shelves. I like that, but I also say this: the Nintendo customer base is a unique entity by itself. It's honestly real easy for Nintendo to be able to do what they do because Nintendo has some of the most easygoing, fans and customer base. They do. I know, and I'm not saying that anything bad is for the Nintendo fans themselves. In all seriousness, I feel like as a PC gamer and a PlayStation gamer, I need to have some of that same mentality. It might decrease my level of anxiety and my level of stress when the game comes out, but
well, I don't think it's easy. What I was trying to say about it was so Nintendo doesn't have that flexibility to put out a bad product.
They don't.
They're very graphically limited. Their hardware is limited, and so you say they're easygoing, but they put out almost flawless games, and what they put out you expect. Breath of the Wild, it either meets expectations or it goes above and beyond. Cameras always work, the settings always work. They don't have to patch things. So Nintendo knows they don't have that flexibility of Cyberpunk where they can just throw in a patch 2 days later. They don't focus on graphics. They focus on the gameplay and the content within the game. So that's why, as a Nintendo fan, I'm 10 out of 10 times satisfied. It's not even with just being easygoing. It's when I get a product like Breath of the Wild, I know what I'm getting because they advertise it the way it is. They let you know what's up. And then when you play it, it is exactly what you expect.
And like speaking on Nintendo with their art and with graphics and stuff, yeah, their stuff is limited, but they know that they could use different art styles and be good at it. No other company that I know of besides probably Media Molecule is doing yarn thing like like
they do have to get creative with their artwork for sure.
It did, but you look at Kirby's Epic Yarn. You look at Kirby's Rainbow Curse with the claymation. Like exactly, like you look at Paper Mario. You look at all of these things that Nintendo has did. They have how they took shell shading from Jet Set Radio and made it their own with Wind Waker. You look at a lot of their first party stuff and if anyone is going to develop for them, they'd be like, all we care for is the quality of it. You could do any art style that you want to, but we want to make sure that if you're going to use this art style, it's going to look good. And I think CD Projekt Red, I think they run on ambition and not so much graphics. I think they have so many ideas that they want to put into a game that is so ambitious. They feel people may get the idea that they could achieve this, but like you said, LeRon, CD Projekt Red, they've developed most of their games for PC. They they don't got a history on any console or anything. Like I said, I think I said this on Boss Rush. Yeah, we could make fun of Witcher 3 on Switch, but they went through a port system. But CD Projekt Red made that happen, allowed that to happen.
Actually, I don't make fun of like all those ports, because all those ports that come to the Switch, there's some damn good ports of games that I was like, that game shouldn't run on the Switch. The Witcher 3, Alien Isolation, Final Fantasy 12. These games are like gems. Like even freaking Burnout Paradise, which I picked up a copy of that. Like I'm like, man, like they were put on systems that run loops around the Switch hardware, and they pulled off magic on it. And we laugh about it and stuff like that. And yeah, I know the running joke around Boss Rush is that Cyberpunk is a Switch game, the way it's playing on all the other consoles. But here's the thing about it, though.
Which is funny because someone actually modded the game to be played on Switch, and they're running the Stadia version of the game on the Switch.
Oh wow! But here's what I know for sure. Like, I mean, CD Projekt Red, when you talk about the ambition, CD Projekt Red kind of unleashed a monster by allowing games like The Witcher 3 to come out on consoles. Because can you imagine how the world would react if they said Cyberpunk 2077 is coming only on PC? It's almost like how you react every time you see that Mass Effect trilogy trailer and there's no mention of Switch. It's almost like that.
You know what? I would have expected to come to PC. I actually thought, before they even hit console, I thought it was a PC game because of the way the first look they showed with the girl with the hand and how all the slow motion. And CD Projekt Red, I always been related them to PC. David, you will have. I'm gonna give you, Dan, the last word. David, you the last word. LeRon, you the last word. So David, last word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to say this earlier. I didn't mean to talk over Dan, but I just. I think there's a perception that Nintendo fans are easygoing, and in a sense that's true. But I also think it's a better description is that Nintendo fans are intensely loyal. I think that they've expected a certain level of quality. And I think what Dan was saying is really true. Like, they haven't been burned by Nintendo repeatedly. And so there's some faith and love that exists there that's really unique. And I think it's one of the reasons they're just dominating right now.
That is the truth. I will give you that. That is the truth.
Dan, last word.
Yeah, like I said before, I don't think the numbers would have changed. I don't think anything would have changed. Neither game is perfect. It's really just what you like. And honestly, almost everybody I know that's playing Cyberpunk is enjoying Cyberpunk. I haven't met anybody that's actually refunding it. But Hyrule Warriors is still great too. Like I played the hell out of it. I beat it. So I don't want to knock either game. They're both great in their own respects. So keep on gaming.
LeRon, final word on this storm.
I will say also I agree that they're both good games. I don't have Hyrule Warriors because the performance of the demo basically scared me away from it. So it's one of those things, and that's the other thing too. Developers need to pay attention. Developers and publishers need to pay attention. If sometimes your demo is your best salesperson, and if anything goes awry with that, it can tank your sales. Because Hyrule Warriors, when they first announced it, it was a shoo-in. I was like, I'm gonna buy this day one, and then I got that demo the first night, and I tried to play it in bed, and I was like, I'm going to bed. I can't deal with this. and yes, on the flip side, yes, I'm enjoying Cyberpunk, but I think but I know for sure I'm enjoying it because I have the PC version. Before I got my PS5, I had a base version PlayStation, like the original PlayStation 4. So I guarantee you, if I'd gotten it for the PlayStation 4, I probably would be running into some of the issues that everybody else has been having, and it probably would have changed my opinion about the game too. So it's just one of those things. It was the luck of the draw for me.
Yeah. For me, I LeRon knows this, and I'm sorry everybody if I keep bringing up LeRon because we talk a lot. That LeRon looked at me just like, why is it not your anticipated game for Cyberpunk? And I was just like, nothing about that game has sold me. I'm still was gonna buy it, but I was expecting for things to run because it's on the Xbox One, it's on the PS4. When I seen Hyrule Warriors, I was just like, oh, that's an automatic get. Just seeing the box cover, seeing that how Nintendo was doing the treehouse stuff, and like showing this little bits of stuff that made me more anticipated for this game. So when I got it, I wasn't even focusing on frame rate. I know the Dynasty Warriors have problems, but that's more on Koei Tecmo than Nintendo. It was about the story and everything. It was just like Dan, me, and David, we have theories. We're doing a spoiler cast with Jacob. We had so many ideas. Me and David was going on. David mentioned the Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, and broke it down, and I was just in awe because it didn't come to my mind. I was just like, oh my goodness. Me and Jacob was talking. Me and David, David was getting dead. As much as y'all get on me about Breath of the Wild to finish, which I will talk about, me and David was getting on Dan to be like, you gotta finish it. You gotta get the story, get your thoughts and stuff. And because it was about, we know the gameplay was repetitive. We know it was going to have its problems and stuff, but it was about that story.
Great.
And we're talking about which game?
Hyrule Warriors. Age of Calamity.
Every game is repetitive. Every game has the same wash, rinse, repeat like formula. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-hour game that you can beat or if it's a 100-hour epic. It all has that wash, rinse, repeat.
For some people, it was a complaint of just doing the same fighter thing and the moves and stuff.
But to your point, Ed, I mean, if you liked the story or not in Age of Calamity, you're talking about it when you beat that game. And you're finding somebody to talk about it. The second I finished that game, I messaged anybody I know who beat it. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, and the thing with Cyberpunk is it's not a knock to Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red because I think regardless of all the trickery and all the stuff that goes on, I think they had big ambitions for this game to be really successful. And yes, 8 million pre-sales. That's the first time I heard any game get that. Like, I don't even think Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty has never did that for pre-sales. I think this is the first one. Yes, people are enjoying it. People are getting through with it. They are having it. I think the problems are hindering the talks for this game of what people love and everything. I'm not seeing a lot of discourse about the story, about the emotions, the choices stuff. I'm not hearing any of that. Like, I don't even think people are planning a spoiler cast for it. People are still trying to make it. I think people are entertained by the controversy and the things that's going on than the game itself. So I think if all of that stuff still happened in November, I think Cyberpunk still would have been a talk of the town. I think the controversy would have killed Hyrule Warrior because everybody loves mess, or some people love mess, and if they could be entertained by mess, they're gonna chew it up. I think Hyrule Warrior is such a great product that when people really decide to get to it and really enjoy it for what it is, I think they will understand why it was a kind of a weekend 4-day game. You got in, you got your feel, and you feel like you want to complete it. Here's 50,000 quests. Go have fun to do that and spend hours upon hours and stuff. And I think it's just that they are both different games. I think the most anticipated one for a lot of people has been a letdown, while the less anticipated one has been a success, in a sense. So
that's a good statement. That's a good statement because in all honesty, like the biggest letdown for me is just that the game itself is having problems for other players. Because in all seriousness, like, I will brag all day long because the one thing I've said on a couple of shows is like, I as a PC gamer, like I can only shed but so many tears for the fact that the consoles are getting a bad port of a game, where universally it's the PC gamers that are getting the bad port of console games, and then we have to wait for the patches and the fixes and stuff like that. So it sounds like I'm stepping on necks when I say this, but when I say that, but what bothers me is just the fact that everybody else is not having not everybody else. Like there's just certain people that are not having the same amount of enjoyment on this game that I expected myself to have, because I'm having enjoyment on it, and it hurts. But I can't sound like a shill for CD Projekt Red because I'm not on their payroll and nothing like that. So
right,
so,
I will.
They just got to fix their product, which they will. And I mean, hopefully, and also I will say the CD Projekt Red is going to be all right. They are.
And like I said, we here at Pow Block, we supported everybody who was getting the game to have fun with it. Same that way that when Hyrule Warriors came out, hopefully people were sending us love and everything. But we were just like, hey, Pow Blockers, Hyrule Warriors out. Get your snacks and ready, and let's dive in. And literally, as a community, we dived in. But we're gonna move into the next one, because this. Oh my goodness. David has brought a video to us that was really good, that got us talking. So the question I got for you guys is, will Nintendo Direct original format return in 2021, or will they head into a new direction? Also, how important and influential are they? So David, I'm going to let you take over this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think just a starting place for me is how much of an event Nintendo Directs have become. I mean, the excitement that it generates in the community, all the people analyzing, does Nintendo have a pattern for when they release Directs, and trying to predict what games are going to come out, and just the way these have been hype launch points, I think has been super successful for Nintendo. And I know that it's exposed me to games that I ended up buying that I might not have otherwise. And, maybe I wouldn't tune in for, an award show or something like that. But I'm there for these, 20-minute or 30-minute directs. Now there's been some disappointment this year that we haven't gotten a true full direct since back in March. But the variation with indie directs, I see this definitely as a continued business practice in 21 for Nintendo.
Dan, well, what are your thoughts?
So I don't think it's going to go back to the way it was. I think back in June, one of the shareholders was talking about how Nintendo is going to change up their marketing, and the direct format isn't going to be the same anymore. And I think when they say that the direct format isn't going to be the same is pretty specific to what we've seen now. We've seen a lot of just very isolated directs. So we're seeing directs based on Smash Brothers characters. We're seeing the partner showcases. We're seeing indie directs, and we're going to see a Nintendo first party direct that involves the Switch Pro coming out in March. And so I think
Pro directs. Yeah.
So we're going to have directs, but they're not going to be the directs that we know and love anymore. I think they're going to be more frequent, and I think they're going to be these 10-minute presentations. And I think Nintendo's still going to, hit us with the first party direct maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But aside from that, I think we're just going to continue to get the slow drip. I mean, we got a partner showcase at the last Thursday of every month from August to, I think, did we get one in December?
No, November was the last one.
So November was the last one. Yeah. So I think we'll probably see that trend still.
What about you, LeRon? Do you check out the Nintendo Directs? Do you like to predict? Do you like to have fun with it, I should say?
Well, I do like to have fun with Nintendo Directs, but my main problem is, and this is me being a not conventional Nintendo fan, because I am a Nintendo fan, but I mean, I'll divulge that later. But the one thing that infuriates me about the directs is they can be random sometimes. So it's like I'll be halfway through my day at work, and I was like, so got announced, and then I'm like, there was a direct because I kid
They
you
have done
not.
that. Yeah, they have done that.
I kid you not. I was coming back from lunch and I pulled out my tablet while I was at my desk and I was looking. I was like, 2 Monster Hunter games for Nintendo. Was there a direct? That was the first thing.
Yeah, because I remember they dropped it that Tuesday, and I think they said it was coming that Wednesday, and I was just like, wait, what? And then when Capcom started, I'm like, Capcom is leading this. Wait, Monster Hunter? Then one of the indie ones was having a presentation, and you was talking about it, and I was just like, wait a minute, where did Nintendo? I was at work, and Nintendo was just like, we got an indie direct in the next 10 minutes. We was like, wait, what?
But don't you think that goes back to Nintendo's model of wanting to surprise and delight, right? Like they have that, like, we're going to drop this out of nowhere. It's going to go viral and just explode and create this massive hype. And it works for them.
I love it because, you know, like they're doing the one thing. They're doing the one thing right with internet marketing that some of the other companies need to be on board with. They're actually doing it right because they're creating their own buzz and hype. And that is an amazing, when you can do that and get people to be like, it's almost like back in the day before VHS was a thing, you know, like if you didn't catch that Friday night TV show, you were screwed. you had to wait the whole year for the rerun to come back.
Yes.
And stuff like that. And basically that's kind of like the magic of these directs. I like it. I really can't say like how you guys are saying like they'll change the format, because I feel like this format is pretty nice right now. It is. I mean, it is. It keeps me on my toes. Like, you know, now it's like, now I gotta like scour the internet to see if there's rumors a direct is coming.
Well, the thing with Nintendo fans, they hate change. Breath of the Wild, like when it first came out, it was a little bit polarizing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people that was like, where's my Zelda game? What is this?
The crazy thing is what Breath of the Wild is, everybody wanted. And then they played it, they were just like, people have not detached from the traditional Zelda. And they didn't know.
The same thing with anything Nintendo though. Like, you know, so I think Nintendo fans loved the Direct, how it was, and now that it's something different, it's like it's gonna take a year for them to get over it because Nintendo fans are so attached to Nintendo things. I mean, they're still having Melee tournaments, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, their Melee tournaments are getting shut down, but I mean, yeah.
You know, and I think Sakurai was so shady about that with the Sephiroth one.
Oh, shade on that.
When he was talking and he was just like, I really made this game. I thought I made this game as a party one. But you know what? I'll let the people who are actually in tournaments playing it talk about it. And I was just like the shade.
I was like, oh man, he really went there.
Right. And LeRon, you are kind of right. With the randomness, David, you are too. Like, there's something memorable and magical about Nintendo Directs. Like, there's a meme always coming out of Nintendo Direct. You know, we got the Smash one. Well, with the Smash reveal at the Game Awards, how Sephiroth was holding Mario. That was a meme. The Sakurai one, when he had this one, that was a meme. And it was just like
even cat theme from the last Indie Direct.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, there's something special about it, and I think the Nintendo Directs are daily E3s, like our daily E3 briefings, and we get to have fun predicting what they may show, what they probably won't show, what would surprise us. If any because random third-party games could now come to Switch that we wouldn't even think of. You know, seeing some indie games that it's just like, we'll see the indie games, and I know indie developers are going to be like, okay, we're going to make some money. And the first thing they notice, if anyone says that I hope this gets a physical, they're probably, and I don't know if this is true, they're going to probably work with somebody to get a physical version out so people could spend $40-some to get it. Like limited run games, if they could get their hands on some indie games and make physical, you better believe it's going to be sold out. You know, and and like I agree with you, Dan. I don't think they're going to change it. I kind of like this format that the focus is on. Here is all of our third party stuff what our partners are doing. We as Nintendo, We want to highlight them. Here's our indie developers. We think there are some cool games that you guys need to check out and support. Go ahead and do that. And yeah, it's console exclusive. It's time exclusive. We let you know that it is. When it comes to other platforms, go ahead and get it. We're just gonna sit back and do all our stuff and get it together, so we get a nice package and stuff. Because if we have E3 again, we're gonna need that 40-minute Nintendo Direct. We're gonna need it because it's gonna be like, we need to know what is happening with you guys as a company. Because after February, we pretty much don't know what's coming out. Monster Hunter Rise, yeah, but that's Capcom. After that, we have no clue. We don't know what they're doing for the Zelda. We don't know what they're going to be doing for Mario. We don't know what they're doing for Metro, how they're going to celebrate that. Everything else is a complete guess and surprise.
Here's what I'm going to say. Like, Nintendo will win me this year if they do the Metroid anniversary correct. They will. The Switch will be my favorite system for the rest of the year. They gotta do it right though.
And it's the Pokemon anniversary as well, right?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's Pokemon, Zelda, and Metroid in 2021, which, like, Nintendo has a chance to do something really special there, right? And there's
great.
a rumor of a 2D Metroid that's ready to go for the anniversary.
Yeah, apparently that finished development in like August, so I was expecting that this year.
Look, I was still blown away.
Is it a Super Metroid in the vein of Zero Mission? If it is, I'm telling you,
I'll take it.
Take my cash dollars right now.
LeRon, I know I didn't know you when it happened, but what was your thought when Metroid Prime 4 got announced, and then you see Metroid Samus Return for 3DS in the treehouse, which is just like, wait, what is this? Because they didn't announce it in the Direct. They announced it at the treehouse.
Okay, so Prime 4 was underwhelming for me because it's basically the same thing like what they had recently with the God of War, the God of War sequel.
Just announcing the logo.
Yeah. So Metroid Prime, even though I was excited, it was like 5% excitement because I was like, okay, we should see more. And also, Metroid Prime, I'm kind of waiting for the Metroid Prime trilogy to release on Switch because as a Metroid fan, I didn't play all of them. Well, you know what? You guys said it a little while ago. Nintendo fans hate change, and when they switch Metroid to a first-person platform, Ed, you saw me playing Cyberpunk. You see, I struggle with first-person games. So yeah, just imagine back when Metroid Prime was new, and I'm not a first-person shooter type of guy.
I played that. I went to Sam Goody, played the first demo of Metroid Prime before when she's in the space station, all of that, even when you actually fight that first boss before you gotta escape. I played that whole thing, went to the counter and put my $50 right there. I was just like, I need this when it comes out. I left work, I think, at 5:00 and could have got into a car accident trying to get to the mall to get my Metroid Prime 4.
Now to continue your question, the Metroid 2 Samus Returns reveal, I was like, okay, I have my money right now because I've always felt like I have a really good connection to the portable versions of Metroid. I do, which is why I think I will finally be able to play the entire Metroid Prime trilogy once it comes to Switch. I have a history of this because when the Metal Gear Solid HD collection came out on the Vita, I finally beat Metal Gear Solid 3. I think that's my thing. I guess I'm a PC gamer, a PlayStation gamer, and a portable gamer at this point. But yeah, I lost my mind with the Samus Returns one, and I was trying to consume as much information about that one as possible. So whenever a small trailer come out, or I was watching the original trailer, like breaking it down, analyzing, I was like, oh man, so it's like a 2.5D version game. And oh man, like new bosses and stuff showed up when I actually got the game. And I'm like, oh god, this is a joy. They flipped the mechanics upside down and all that stuff, and I was like, man, yes, yeah. So I'm praying that comes to the Switch. I'm praying,
which is funny because Mercury, I think it's Mercury System or Mercury Steam, they got clowned and trashed because they did that Lord of Shadows 2. And then they came and did Metroid, and they got full praise. Metroid Samus Returns brought them back into the fold of them making money in Mexico. They lost a lot with that other one. So, David, before we go, final.
I had one more thought. One more thought.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering, as we wrap it up, if it was worth considering Nintendo's strategy with directs versus state of play or other major companies' way of communicating. If those are worth the comparison.
I think state of play does good when they do one focused game. I think when they do their whole show, sometimes their state of play still doesn't give us anything, and we don't really find more information until this show was done, and then they announce what dates and on prices and stuff like that. When I kind of wish they would. State of play needs to be a little bit fun, and it doesn't feel fun when you're watching it. Like, there's not really that much hype. They try to at the end really like get you with a big game, but then it's just like yeah, okay, that's fine, but you didn't reveal it like you did like Breath of the Wild or something, or even Smash Melee when it came for Wii U and 3DS, and you had all of these characters, and you just like, Snake is in this mug, like and stuff like that. Dan, final word.
Hey, Nintendo, their directs were the OG, so State of Play came after. Nintendo Directs are definitely the better one for me.
Nintendo was the first company that stopped doing like traditional E3s.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we have Nintendo to thank for the fact that Sony got off their behinds and started doing state of play. I'm not sure what Microsoft calls theirs, but they just now got into the swing of doing it. And I feel like they didn't find their niche until like the last year or so of the Xbox One.
I think Xbox Inside. I think that's it.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That sounds right.
We need to ask one of the Arsenal guys what it is. They can tell us for sure.
That depends if they're still playing Halo or Destiny. LeRon,
yes.
Final word.
I really do. I just feel like the state of how Nintendo Directs go in the future is going to be exciting. I mean, it'd be less frustrating for me if I knew when they were coming, but that's what I think. I think it's going to be exciting, and I can't predict Nintendo, just like I can't predict what the next Zelda game looks like. And God knows we've had so many iterations of Legend of Zelda, and I'm still like, give me my freaking Four Swords and Link to the Past, and
See, it's going to be a struggle with Breath of the Wild too, because I can't talk to none of y'all. I know y'all gonna be like, Ed, did you beat the game yet? Ha ha. I'm gonna be like, okay, David, where did you go? Dan, what did you find? LeRon, did you get the game? If not, here's some snacks. Like I'm going to lose my mind, just like I did Breath of the Wild when it came out, because it's hard to talk about that game when you don't want to reveal anything because it's so open.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you're almost ready to beat Breath of the Wild right now, right?
I beat.
Okay. Oh, you've already beat it.
I beat. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I am now the guy on the panel that's never beat the game, and I have it. I haven't even preloaded it in my system.
People would joke about.
This is definitely getting into our next topic, because I have some thoughts on that.
So as long as I could get snacks and sushi, as long as I get to talk Nintendo Direct with you guys and have fun, whether you like it or not, is one of the great things in gaming that I love to see. And I think in 2021, regardless if they change it or not, I just hope that they continue to do it, because I think it makes us all feel good. And definitely for a podcast reason, it gives us something to talk about. And then in other times, it opens up many doors on what other company could come. Because, hey, LeRon, you're a PC gamer, but and Dan, you are indie. You love indie. David, you're into almost anything, and definitely you're looking for that Zelda game or stuff for the family. I think their directs have been putting out everything or anything for everybody. There's been PC stuff that's been a hit, indie games that's been a hit, wacky games like Good Job. I'm like, this shouldn't be on the Nintendo system, and it's crazy fun, and it works and stuff. So as long as I can eat sushi, talk the games with you guys, and have fun with it, I can't wait for 2021 Nintendo Direct. Just now, Nintendo, if you bring everything else to what everybody wants, can I please get Xenoblade Chronicles X, because I need that game. But we're going to get into our final topic, and oh boy, it's our game recommendations for each of us and the breakdown of our Boss Rush Games Backlog Challenge. So I'll explain the Boss Rush one a little bit later. But we have made a list of games, or gamer games, or now requirements or challenges. I don't know what it's going to be for each of us. So, like for me, I had to do something for David, Daniel, and LeRon. LeRon might have to do something for David, Daniel, and me, and that's the flow of it. So I'm going to hand it over to Daniel first. I'm curious. I don't know what the what's going on. So Dan, what is your game recommendations for all of us?
All right, so I'll start with our guest LeRon. I want you to play Mario Rabbids Kingdom Challenge. Okay. It's a strategy RPG. I know you're into Fire Emblem, and this is it's almost the same kind of battle system, except it's Mario and Rabbids and guns.
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it had my eye when it originally announced, because I was like, oh man, this is like Final Fantasy Tactics.
and I have beat that game more than any other game on the Switch. So that's
Okay.
that's my recommendation for LeRon.
Everybody literally left that game at E3, and then they seen it. They were just like, "Oh, I must have." It became one of the talk of towns of E3.
It was a blast. It's such a fun game.
It's so good. I still need to buy the Donkey Kong DLC because I want to play that one.
Oh, it's so good.
And you know what? I think that game is like $10 right now in Target.
Yeah, it's always on sale.
Yeah.
Don't buy it full price. It's always $10 to $20.
Yeah.
Go snag it. If not, I'll send you a copy.
And for David, you've been playing Coffee Talk recently, and you talk about how relaxing it is, and it's an indie game. I think Evergate would be a cool game for you to play. It's it's an indie game. It has a beautiful art style. The music is soothing, and it's just a very relaxing, non-stressful game, except one of the worlds. But aside from that world that's kind of stressful, the rest is like very good. Now with Ed, I figured I'd probably rattle off about 45 games, and he had played them all. So Ed, I'm going to challenge you to pick just one JRPG. Enjoy the game, play it, soak in the story, finish it, and tell me how good it is. If it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, if it's Xenoblade Chronicles DE, if it's Octopath Traveler, you pick the JRPG. I just want to see you focus on this one game, and I want to see you beat it and enjoy it.
Okay, challenge JRPG to play and enjoy. Do you have a specific one? Because
I'll rattle off a bunch of them.
Go ahead.
Have you played Octopath Traveler?
I have it. Yes, I have played it. I haven't finished it, but I have played it, and I enjoy it.
Xenoblade DE?
I have Xenoblade Definitive. I have Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the DLC.
Have you beat all of them?
I haven't beaten all of them.
This is why the challenge.
How about Tales of Vesperia?
I have that on Xbox. I could buy it on
never
Switch.
mind.
I can buy it
How
on
about
Switch.
Ni no Kuni?
I have Ni no Kuni on PS3.
You know what? Ni no Kuni was a good call, but as soon as
I have Ni no Kuni on Switch, and I have Ni no Kuni 2 on PS4.
Have you played it?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Yeah.
But I
all
haven't
right. Well, you're gonna have to find your own JRPG.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So I will go with I'm going to go with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Okay. I want you to play it beginning to end. You can play one other game on the side. I'll allow it. But I want you to focus on this one game and just embrace it and enjoy it. That's my challenge for you.
What was I put Tales of Xenoblade Chronicles? Please, can I get Tales of Symphonia on Switch? Oh, I love that game.
Actually, there's rumors that they might that they might port that. There's rumors about that right now because I saw something a couple days ago, and it was talking about how Namco want to get a bigger presence with the Tales of series, and they're thinking about putting it on the Switch. No, it's just a rumor. I mean, like Crossroads has a rumor control section, and we can look into it if you want us to.
Well, most of it, like we said, we place GOS on it, Great Assault on it, and sometimes we'll
GOS.
Yeah, dude, that I think that has been my phrase for a gaming of 2020, Grain of Salt, because it's just like you see something and be like, I'm gonna put a little bit grain of salt on this because I don't believe it. I would love to see it happen. I moved the monster truck assault by the Switch Pro thing coming in March. I think the Switch Pro is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen in March.
Mm-hmm.
If it does happen, like I told Dan, I'm like, shoot, I might just end up buying you one while buying me one and send it to you. Like, if not, I'll just send them a $50 eShop card and be like, here, buy your first game. Right. All right. So, David, what is your recommendations?
Yeah. Okay. So I got a list of stuff in case you've already, you all have done the first few on there. But LeRon, Ed was telling me that you are a Zelda fan, but you've never actually played Breath of the Wild. Is that true?
That's correct. I do have it. So this is an easy one if you're about to recommend it.
How did LeRon get on a Nintendo podcast not playing Breath of the Wild? For all the times LeRon has tried kicking me out of the chats, this is my turn to kick you out of here.
I feel like it's my familiarity with the Metroid franchise that kind of keeps me in the good graces of the Nintendo forces.
Well, it is probably the single most important game for the Switch. It's not the best-selling game on the Switch. That's Mario Kart and soon to be Animal Crossing, but it is the definitive. The creativity in Breath of the Wild and changing norms matches up with the sort of pathos of the Switch. So I think that's like a must play.
So I will. That is now on my list. Are you going to give me a time frame to beat this in, or
no? Take your time. It's a game that should take time. I will say that they had a sale, and I still don't know if it's going on now, where including the DLC, the game is like 60% off or something like that. Like they had
that goes until Christmas.
Is the DLC worth it? Because I will buy it because I already have the game. So
it's classic Nintendo DLC where they give you 2 for the price of 1. Originally it was $19.99 for the DLC, and you got both, and it's fantastic. In fact, I'm going to talk about the DLC here in a second because Ed, not only do you need to buy the DLC if you haven't done so, but my challenge to you need to complete all 3 trials of the sword and power up the Master Sword to level 60. And you can do it on regular mode, not Master Mode, because Master Mode is for Nintendo gods. It is a definitive part of the Breath of the Wild experience because it's similar to like the Cave of Trials or what is it, Cave of Ordeals? In Twilight Princess, where you sort of battle through swaths of enemies, and each level gets harder and harder. But the Breath of the Wild one is so creative, and the challenges are so unique, and to be able to power up the Master Sword by the end, it's a really quintessential part of the Breath of the Wild experience. So I want to know your thoughts as you get through that.
Okay, so buy Breath of the Wild DLC and complete the Master Sword to 3.
Yeah, so that's the first DLC is the Trials of the Sword, and I think the first round is 10 levels, the second round is 16, and the third is 22. Rooms that you have to go through, and it's awesome. You start out completely naked, and you pick up a tree branch, and you have to make it through that level, and then each weapon you get and any resources you get carries over to the next room.
Okay. It's so fun. It was like it's honestly like it's really challenging, but man, was that satisfying to beat. Yeah, it's awesome. I really hope you do that challenge at. That is fantastic.
I will. I am. You guys know me. I play multiple games. I'm up for the challenge.
The second DLC is about the storyline for the champions, and personally I love the second DLC, and it's how there's a great reward at the end. But if you do nothing else, do the Trial of the Sword. So,
okay.
Dan, I was talking about earlier that you all got me into indie games, and so I've fallen in love with Coffee Talk, and that is just it's really lit my fire for indie games. So I also downloaded Hades this week as well, and I've been playing through that and loving that. So we'll have to talk about that sometime. But I had a question for you. So first of all, have you played Coffee Talk, Dan?
I have not.
Okay, so I was split on this because I wanted to say you should play Coffee Talk so we could talk about it, because I enjoyed our Age of Calamity talk so much. But I also know that you like RPGs, and I was curious if you've played Child of Light.
I've not.
Okay, so that's the one then. You got to play Child of Light. That is my favorite true like turn-based RPG that I've played in a long time. And
with the limericks.
Yeah, it's the whole game. It feels like a work of art. A lot of the talking is in poetry verse, and it's just a beautiful story and really unique artwork. So that would be my challenge.
Cool.
Okay, Dad, I have purchased the Breath of the Wild expansion pass, and then I earned 100 points.
Yeah, I actually have my Switch right now. I just looked it up.
Awesome.
Is that it, Dave?
That's all three. Yeah.
Okay, LeRon, what
Okay.
is your recommendations?
All right. Okay. So, first of all, Dan, my question for you is: do you have a PlayStation 4?
I do.
You do. Okay. Have you had a chance to play Detroit Become Human?
I haven't.
Okay, that's my recommendation for you, and the reason why I'm saying that is because, based off of everything you recommended me for with Fire Emblem, I can say that with the branching paths of the Detroit Become Human, it's an action game, but it's storyboardish, and with all the branching paths that you can do and stuff like that, I feel like this is right up your alley. Like, you basically create your own narrative, even though like every path like kind of leads to like certain resolutions and stuff like that. You have free reign for how your story it turns out. Like, I mean, you can make some mistakes, and certain characters will be permanently removed from the game and things like that. And you can make some mistakes, and it's almost like, oh, you get a do-over because you're an android and stuff like that. But I know
it was a must-have when I first seen the trailer. I was just like, I need this now.
So funny enough, I own the game, and it's still in the packaging, and it's been in the packaging for about 8 months. So all I got to do is open it and play.
Yeah, there you go.
Celeste loves that game too, doesn't she?
Yeah, Celeste was just talking about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all of us over at Crossroads, like that game has a very sweet spot in all of our hearts, because that game basically it just challenges the way you think about things, and I feel like it's one of those ones that it's gonna pull that drive for philosophy out of you.
Can I tell you, LeRon, I think it's a struggle to me, because Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, I equal them together as one of the best Quantum Dreams games.
Oh yeah,
I understand. Yeah, I understand Fahrenheit, or what the other name for it, and Beyond Two Evils, or whatever that thing is. They're okay, but like something about Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, I'm interested in the story and the characters and my choices. I'm like, I don't care if I had to go back and redo it. I'm interested in the story, because with the maid, or that little android, and the little girl,
yes,
I
love that storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was a game I definitely purchased again when it came out on PC. But yeah, that's my recommendation, and it's cool that you have that game, Dan. So it's one of those ones where it's like I didn't force you to spend any extra money.
I knew about it. I knew it'd be a game for me. I just haven't played it.
Yeah, there's a reason why it got a lot of acclaim.
It
didn't win many awards, but it got a lot of acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so David, I'm pretty sure. As a matter of fact, It's on the list. I'm pretty sure you can get this game anywhere, but I want to make sure it's on the Switch as well, so it's easier for me to recommend you just in case you have to spend some money on it. But my game that I would recommend for you is because you like good stories, and no, it's not on the Switch. I'm sorry. Is Enslaved: Journey to the West. Have you heard of that game?
Is it on Xbox One? I do have Xbox One.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it should be a backwards compatible game for Xbox One.
Okay.
So yeah.
Enslaved: Journey to the West.
Yeah. Basically,
so this it's by Ninja Theory. It's their take on the old tale of Journey to the West with the monkey and stuff. But go ahead, LeRon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you pretty much said it. But basically with this game, I feel like even though it's not a Zelda-esque game, like games like Darksiders is, like it has those same elements and stuff into it, but also it has like a story that has a lot of heart into it and everything, and it's got enough action elements to where like you're not going to get too bored with it. It's got action, it's got puzzles, it's got all sorts of things. It's got narrative because like you're controlling one character, but technically you're playing as two characters because your main character is this brutish dude who's like a scavenger, and he gets tethered on to this girl. So just think of like how Dragon Ball is also a iteration of the Sayuki tale of Journey to the West. It's the same thing. So just think your character is Goku, and the person you get sidekick with is Bulma from Dragon Ball, and hilarity ensues because like there's comedic elements in that, but also they grow together, and you see where they actually become special to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Be aware of the ending though. If you finish it, I want to hear your thoughts about the ending.
All right.
So Ed, I had to think about this one for you, and it's one of those ones is like, okay, like I've got a second game just in case this one's hard to find. I know you love old school games. Like you have streams on Twitch where it's just you playing nothing but classic like NES and Super NES, and some of the obsolete games like you were playing Ikaruga, like a while back. You're playing the Japanese version of Contra, and I was like, man, wait, why is there extra stuff in this game? You schooled me on some things. So my main recommendation for you is if you had never played it, try to find yourself a copy of Bionic Commando Rearmed. Now, I say Bionic Commando Rearmed because Bionic Commando is one of my all-time favorite NES games. Did you play that one?
I beat that in one sitting.
Bionic Commando?
Yep.
The original?
Yep, on NES.
Have you ever tried Rearmed? Because Rearmed is like technically it's a remastering.
Remake.
Yeah, it's a remake / remaster, but the same elements of the original game are all there and stuff like that. It's got a whole bunch of twists. They fixed a whole bunch of things that were wrong with the original game, and this is a good one. But like I said, I have a backup for you if you do not, or if you don't think you can get your hands on this, because I know it's on PC. Like you can get it on Steam and a couple of the other PC outlets, but I'm not sure. I believe at one point it was gone off the PlayStation Store, and
I may have it on my PS3. But go ahead and make a second recommendation. If I could get it backwards compatible, or if it's backwards compatible with Xbox One, I'll get it there. But go ahead and make your second one too. My
alternate recommendation for you is I know you loved Foregone. That was one of the ones that I got you onto, and of course.
And I can't believe you haven't finished it yet, and I did.
It's because something else. PlayStation 5 took all my attention. Yeah, I was like I should have just beat it, in those 2 weeks that PS5 was coming. But I know you, and I also know like another labor of love of ours that we were playing at the same time was Hades. So I'm going to recommend another phenomenal Supergiant game for you, and that is Transistor.
I have it on Switch.
You have it on Switch? Okay.
I beat it. I have not beaten it. I actually have it on my PS3. I think I rebought it on PS4, and I have it on Switch. I love Transistor. I haven't played it, but I love that art style, so I would play that.
I love the art style. I love the stylishness of the gameplay. Like, in all honesty, like Transistor to me feels like a really simplified Bayonetta.
Yes.
In a lot of regards. I mean, but of course, like, if you play Hades right now, you see the skeleton of Transistor all over Hades, like you do. Yeah.
Ed, before you get started, I actually remembered an RPG that you haven't played, so I'm gonna switch your Xenoblade Chronicles to Final Fantasy Tactics.
I was thinking
That
but I
is
couldn't
the
remember.
one.
Yes,
That
yes.
is my
Okay.
challenge for Ed.
So I would have to find it.
Ed, I'll
Ed?
mail you my copy.
You know what? Yeah, if that you wait.
If it's on
Yes.
PSN, I think I could get it. I think it's on PSN.
It's only for PSP on PSN though.
We'll figure it out after the episode. We'll find a way to get
Ed,
you to play.
I have a patch version of the emulator version on PC if you want the PC version. I have a patch that actually fixes the frame rate issues of the battle. I have a patch that does that.
I mean, you don't have something that we will, I guess, discuss at a later time and date. So, we will talk about that. And I will admit
I'm
that.
sorry, I spilled the beans. I'm sorry.
No, I will admit that I like I said, I wasn't into tactics games like that.
Wait, do you still have a PS1?
Yeah, I still got my PS2.
I'll send you my copy, but I need to have it back because it is the original non-greatest hits version.
And you keep it right.
I have that same exact one, LeRon.
And y'all both keep it.
And it is treasure to me. It's on my shelf.
Yes,
I don't want your physical at all. We was talking about the situation that's hand after the show.
All right, Ed.
So I would change that to Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, damn Binding Commando rearmed, like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay. So, so David, since I know you like writing a lot, you're a great, fantastic writer. Everybody, by the time you see this one, David has a phenomenal article out that you guys really should check out. So, since you love writing and reading and stuff, I thought, you know what? Let's get you doing some little bit more reading. So you would have to play Phoenix Wright Trilogy on Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
If you can't do it, I also have another RPG called Oninaki by Square Enix. It's a top-down kind of Zelda game that you should check out the trailer if it interests you. But I also have a Nintendo-specific game connected to you. And LeRon gave you Slay, but I want to see what you do with Astral Chain by Platinum.
Astral Chain?
Yeah.
Good pick.
I want to see what you could do with action style games. How you can learn the button combos and stuff. But yeah, Phoenix Wright trilogy is 3 games. You're a lawyer, you solve crimes, and you gotta it's a lot of good reading, and there's a lot of memes and stuff over it. But a lot of the sayings and stuff, you'll understand why people keep saying objection. So so that is that.
Awesome.
Then, because you love indie games and you're an indie insider, I picked The Garden Between. If I don't know if you played it or anything, but I think it's a great, fantastic, laid-back puzzle game, physics-based that you will love. And I know that you love EverQuest, so I think you may have played Lightfall.
I have played Lightfall. It's really good.
Okay, so another RPG game that I recommend to you is called Snack World. The Dungeon Crawl. This is by Level 5 with Nintendo, I believe, publishing it. I think you would enjoy it with there. And if you haven't played it or anything, I say look into it. I think you would love it.
Which one? What's it called again?
Snack World.
Snack World?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
nice.
LeRon,
Mm-hmm.
I know you love sci-fi. I know you love Metroid. So this is a perfect fit for you. And I can't wait to see what you say. Zeo Drifter.
Zeo Drifter?
Yes.
Tell me something about it.
So Zeo Drifter is a Metroid style game that takes place in space. And you get powers by beating bosses and stuff. And sometimes you'll find extra things. It's very challenging though. And it's right up your alley of I think it's Mutima's where that kind of style is the same developer who makes that, who made this game. But I think you would love this game. I played it on 3DS, but it is on Switch. I think you would enjoy the music. I think you would enjoy the challenge and everything. And it's not something that's too long, but it's something that really fits your mode of gaming, a sci-fi of Metroid. You also just shapes and beats. I know you love house music. Know you love EDM. You have got to play this game. I've been recommending this game to everybody, and I think it's a thing that you need to like just right before you go to bed, or if you feel like you're about to work out or go for a walk, put the headphones on and listen to this with your Switch. It has a phenomenal soundtrack, and it's good EDM house and trance music that you will love.
Okay, spell the first game.
Xeo Drifter, XEO.
XEO.
DRI. FT.
ER.
ER. Yeah.
That's on the Switch?
Yep, it's on the Switch.
I don't see it.
Xeo Drifter?
Yeah.
Should be there. I have it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'll look. I'll look. XEO.
XEO. DRI. FTER.
There we go. Okay. Maybe I misspelled it the first time.
Okay. And for a Nintendo specific game that I kind of would love to see what your thoughts is, because I kind of want to put some joy into your day when things are don't feeling well and stuff. I recommend Yoshi's Crafted World. I kind of want to see what you think. You may think it's a kid's game, but I kind of want to see what you think when you get later on into it and everything.
Okay, can I just go ahead and say right now, just for the record, like Yoshi games are hit or miss for me. It's one I love Yoshi's Island, and I love the sequel to Yoshi's Island, but there's just it's hit or miss for me. the other Yoshi games. My problem is Yoshi is like the most noisy, annoying member of the Mario universe.
Okay, so well,
but I will give it a try though. I don't want to out and out say I won't play it. I would give it a try.
Okay, well, David, we're gonna get to you. What have you been playing with Power?
Just today, my daughter and I have been playing through Twilight Princess, and we did just do that last epic battle, which was awesome. To do that again, we've been playing it on Wii.
That's one of my favorite last fights in Zelda. It's so
fantastic. Good. Yeah, and this was her first time of basically doing the game entirely herself. She's 8, and so she was quite proud of herself for that. So that was fun. I've been playing tons of Coffee Talk. Celeste recommended that one, and I just absolutely love it. It's basically just a visual novel that the only gameplay you do is that you're making coffee at the espresso bar, which the game takes place in Seattle, and as someone who spent most of my college years being a barista in Seattle, it really brings me back working those nights in Seattle. So that's been a lot of fun. I've been playing the heck out of Fortnite with Master Chief because that's bringing back all the feels for me having the Master Chief skin there. Let's see, there's and Hades. I've been playing some Hades. So
how do you like Hades so far?
I love it. It's awesome. I'm not like I'm a couple hours into it, but I'm loving it.
It's so good.
Yes. Well, before you go, David, because I know you have to run, we're going to talk about Jack Sparrow's question. I just want to hear what price would you give it a Switch Pro comes in March, and what do you think will happen to the other models?
What price would I give it?
Yeah.
I think we're going to see it at $399, and my reason for that is Switch Lite is $199, the standard Switch is $299, so I think $399 makes sense to me. Okay. I do think there's a possibility that Breath of the Wild 2 launches with it. I know that we're not expecting to see Breath of the Wild till later in the year just because Nintendo hasn't done any follow up with it, and they, in August or whatever, they said they still got some work to do. But also, Nintendo is that company that just drops things out of nowhere, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they say, surprise, we've been saving it for the Switch Pro. So,
okay. And where can we find you? Go ahead.
So I'm on Twitter at David Lasby. You can find me my articles on themighty.com and also zeldadungeon.net. So.
All right. Thank you, David, for joining us. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for filling in and joining our team. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Hopefully I will see you Saturday for our Zelda talk for our Sportercast.
Yes.
I hope that is happening. And I will see you when I see you.
It's been fun. It's been a good this has been a highlight of 2020 for me is joining Pow Block, and I'm sorry I got to go make my kids dinner here. Otherwise I'd stick around a little longer, but I'll look forward to hearing what you all have been playing with Power. So I'll be checking in later.
All right. We will see you later, right. David. Bye.
See you, Dave.
Take care.
Okay. Whew. All right, Dad. What is your price? This question was asked from Jack Borrow. He asked us. He says that he knows that the Switch Pro is coming out in March. What is the model's price, and what will happen to the other model's price?
I gotta say, I just love the way that Jack asked it. Since we know the Switch Pro is launching in March.
Exactly.
You know what? I think it's gonna be a little bit more. I think it's gonna have better graphics. It's gonna be a console only. I'm gonna probably guess the same thing as David and say it's about $400.
Okay. LeRon, what are your thoughts?
I do feel like it's going to be more expensive than the existing Nintendo hardware that's up there right now, but I feel like Nintendo knows they have to play this one just a little slightly. They can't do what their competitors are doing and basically having a price war with their systems and stuff like that. Given that the cheapest next gen console is $200, and that's the Xbox Series S. And that the most expensive ones are, of course, the disc versions of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I think Nintendo is probably going to try, and I feel like it will be more expensive than the current Switch, so it'll be higher than $300. But I'm thinking they can run anywhere from $349.99 to $399.99. That's what I'm thinking. And the only reason why is because they still have to have that edge, because the problem is that I mean, we don't know what the new tech is going to hold for it. I guarantee you it's going to have NVIDIA's Tegra 2 chip in it, which would be great for them. And if it's utilizing any of the new NVIDIA technology, then we're going to have access to DLSS, probably have some form of ray tracing in there, possibly stuff like that. So they need to make sure they have an edge over the fact, because the current consoles are cutting edge right now, and Nintendo always kind of plays, a second fiddle to the hardware. Not saying it's a bad thing or nothing like that, but they can't turn around and put the same price of the system as the base PS5, and is not comparable to the base PS5.
I think if they was going to do that, it was going to be a whole new console. Like it wouldn't even be under the Switch name. It would just be a whole new console.
Or they could surprise us. They could surprise us and drop the Switch and drop the original Switch down to $250 and put the Switch Pro out at $299.
Nintendo doesn't drop prices.
That is true. They don't drop prices until it's damn near about to be delisted. Because look at all those 2DSs.
Right.
I think I walked in the Best Buy the other day and I saw a 2DS for $80, and I was like, yeah, and that was brand new. And I was like, what?
I want to pick up a 3DS now because it's like a Zelda machine. They have everything, and I haven't played any portable Zeldas, so I need to get on it.
Well, I think they will still keep the Switch Lite at 199, or they'll drop it to 189. I think they'll do like or 179.99. I think Switch will go to 249.99, and I think Switch Pro will go from
Actually,
349.99.
you know what I think may happen. If the Switch Pro comes out, they're probably going to delist the original Switch.
Right, and that's why they'll drop the price so they can get rid of it.
No, I think no. The reason why I say that is if you why would anyone? I guess the only people that will really buy a Switch Lite is people who are buying it expressly for their children. Because the average consumer that's a gamer is not even going to look at the Switch Lite, you know. But then again, you know, I say that, and I know that there's many. I have friends who are Nintendo fans that they have every version of they had every version of the 3DS, like currently, like they didn't get rid of one to get the new one. They have all of them running, and I know people who have two Switch Lites and a Switch. Yeah, it's crazy.
So there is a different flexibility with the Switch Lite, and I know a lot of parents that buy their kids Switch Lites specifically because it cannot hook up to the TV.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, it is a portable machine. I'm even thinking about getting one for my travels and stuff, and just leaving my regular Switch at home. I think the Switch Lite is I don't think that's going anywhere. But the new Switch, I don't think it's going to be portable. I think it's just going to be console. So I don't see them discontinuing any of the three. They have the console, they have the portable, and they have the hybrid.
I think
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead.
I think with the Switch Pro, getting rid of the original model because of them, maybe they worked on the Switch, the Joy-Con drift and fix it and stuff. I think they still want to keep that idea of you being able to take your system anywhere, because that's what the main focus of the Switch is, that you can play it in various ways. You can switch up the components in order to play it. So I think they still want to carry that with it. Have a new dock, since the old dock is they stopped selling it. I think with the new Switch there'll be a new dock and a new insights and everything. New, probably a OLED or whatever people want to call it and stuff. I think definitely with Unreal 5 coming next year, before it hit different places, I think they want to make sure that their system is powerful for them to run Unreal 5. So if they could get games that's running on Unreal 5, if they could get that on that system on cloud, I think, or if it just a digital download version with the port and stuff, I think they want to be ready for that. That would bring more people to their console, if they could get that. And they could do everything in 1440p. I don't think they need to do 4K or even 2K. I think 1440p would just do them fine. Still, they could do 30 frames per second.
I think it's going to be too. So if they're going with the Switch Pro, they want to be graphically advanced. I don't think you can do that in a portable mode. I just don't think Nintendo has the technology to do it just yet. If they do and blow me away with it, go ahead. But I think the reason I think it's going to be a console only is because I think they want to finally have those graphical limitations just taken off from them, and then they can get these AAA games and these third-party games to come to them, and we can see games like Mass Effect come to Switch.
Well, I think with it being portable, I think they're not focused on. I think people are not focused on, on how it like really looks. But that's a game-to-game case or anything. I think it's just the idea that they want. If they do that's why I feel like if they do a straight homemade Switch for like just your home TV, I think a lot of people would be like. I think a lot of people will be disappointed because they got rid of the purpose of what the Switch is supposed to be.
So let me ask you a question. The 1440, where are you saying that's at? Because in all honesty, like TVs, like there is no 1440p format on traditional televisions. It's either 1080p or 4K.
I think with the 1440p is more for like. Because like I said, what if everything had it running up to like an Xbox One X and stuff? If it had it up to there, I think a 1440p, I think that would allow them to have that kind of power. It may drop to 1080, and sometimes I think people don't realize that a game that's supposed to be in 4K is running on 1440p. I don't think people can tell the difference. People might be looking at Digital Foundry for that.
I don't think it's practical for Nintendo and the Nintendo system, because 1440p is only like really used on monitors. And I don't think Nintendo has ever like even like thought of the idea of having you play your systems on monitor.
Well, I think it's because of the HD era and stuff. If people are fine still with 1080p, that's fine. I think it's one of those things that you want to do or get up to 1440. Look, Xbox One, look, Series X and PS5 can't do ray tracing in 4K at the same time. You got to choose one of them. So if they can't keep up with these, do that for the powerful system.
Actually, I'm going to piss off some of the people who are PC gamers that listen to Pow Block. PC can't do it that well either. Like shoot, I like my roommate turned on Cyberpunk with ray tracing and 4K, and that game ran at 22 frames.
Ooh, how the heck did it drop?
Well, it's because the hardware is it's so stressful, and it doesn't matter. That's Cyberpunk, which Cyberpunk was like the pinnacle of gaming right now. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter, like there's Control beats up graphics cards. Yeah. So, and this is kind of one of the conversations that we had a while back. You remember when we were talking about the new systems and like the fact that they put on the boxes 4K and HDR and 8K and all that stuff. Yeah, it's still, the systems are capable of doing it. It doesn't mean that it's capable of doing it in a way that in the best way. If that's the easiest way to explain it. The tech can push it. But
it could push it, but they don't say that it could do it all together.
Because in the perfect world, everybody wants 4K 60 frames per second. But they also want 4K 60 frames per second with ray tracing and all the other bells and whistles too. And that's not even good. That's not even theoretical with the RTX 3090, which is the big boy graphics card.
Well, like I said, I feel like it's the marketing buzz with that, and then you get the system, then they make you choose. Still, I'm just like, you should have been able to tell me I could do stuff. I could choose between stuff. Like, I would have rather hear that marketing. But I think Switch like $179.99, Switch Pro. Switch $249.99, or if they want to drop it to $200, they can, or $229. Switch Pro $349.99.
I'm in the same boat with Dan. I don't see Nintendo drop. Nintendo only drops the prices when they're ready to get rid of it and when it's going out the door. So if I see the Switch, if I walk into Best Buy and see the Switch Lite at like $169.99, be like, oh, they're getting ready to get rid of this system.
Even their games don't go on sale. Like exactly. So another reason I think Switch Pro is coming in spring is because we've never seen first-party games go on sale from Nintendo, and they have been on sale like crazy the last couple weeks. They are dumping these games. If
you guys had told me back in October to wait until November or December to buy my games, I would not be anywhere as pissed off as I am right now. Like, Fire Emblem is $30 and I bought it 2 weeks ago. No. Oh, you didn't hear this on the Boss Rush podcast on Saturday, right? You didn't hear this one. Austin talked me into getting the BioShock collection on the Switch. I bought that on the buy two get one free. And it was a $40. I remember I was going with you. I was like, I want to get a Switch game on the buy two. It was $40. I walked in the freaking Target the other day, $14.99.
It's crazy.
$14.99.
So all these Switch games are going on sale. It never has happened. I mean, when I had a Wii, you would see Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube still for $60.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the first time I've ever seen first-party games on sale.
People were selling their kidneys for a freaking copy of Mario Strikers.
Right, and it's like when we were talking about Fire Emblem a few months back, you're like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting it on sale. I'm like, LeRon, it's a Nintendo game. It's never going on sale. Like 2 days later, it goes on sale.
Just be glad I'm not mad at you, Dan. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at myself, and I'm mad at Nintendo because Nintendo's been doing this gotcha moment with me. I walked in, I bought Burnout Paradise on the Switch for $40, and it's $29 right now.
and you do got to realize that they do those sales weeks.
No, they wait for me to buy the game because they're like, LeRon is the most judgmental Nintendo customer we have. So
it's personal.
So like when they see my credit card number come up on a new sale, they're like, okay, this game goes on sale this Sunday.
And yet you don't take your receipt in to get the price adjusted.
You know what? Because I had a history of retail, I've become one of those people, like I'm so sympathetic to the plight of like customer service reps that I don't need to stress them out because I got inconvenience for $20 or $30. You know, like now, if I bought the Switch, I bought the Switch a couple of Thanksgivings ago. If I bought the Switch and the price drop happened, you best believe I'll be marching back up to get some money back. Yes. But for the most part, you know, like on games, like, you know, like, and also, you know, I know the ropes. You know, like once you open the game, like technically you're not entitled to a refund. You know.
I'm just happy that people get gangs. LeRon has seen me do the shout thing. I just like me every time a gang goes sale, I get a gang. I just start shouting. And LeRon just like I do the same thing.
But you know what? They didn't get me on that Valkyria Chronicles 4 though. I got that on sale.
You know what I did? I held off to it because when we was talking about it, it wasn't on sale. So I'm just like,
don't.
It's on sale for like $10 now. So I downloaded it the other day.
The base game or the base game because I got the base game plus all the DLC for $25.
I'm not sure what it is. I've never played it, so I was like, I actually just went on a spending spree, like because everything was on sale last weekend, so I bought a bunch of games.
Yes. So everybody. Oh,
you know, guys, thanks for inviting me to Pow Block tonight because I'm going to play Fire Emblem tonight. I am not playing Cyberpunk tonight. I'm gonna play some Fire Emblem tonight.
Yay! I have to play some Cyberpunk. I got to make a little bit more progress in it. I've been doing the side stuff so I could get like the $15,000 to pay that girl and do that mission.
Yeah. Man, money is a premium in that game. It's like, man. It's like you think there'd be more options to get money. Well, I mean, there are options, but I'm like, you know, like you damn near start thinking, do I need to whore myself out to get money in this game? Like, man, everything's expensive.
Shoot, yeah. So, but yeah, that is our price thing, Jack. We think from $349 to $399.99. We shall see what happens. I
don't believe the Switch Pro is coming out in March. I don't believe it. I think the Switch Pro is probably going to be for the summer because I mean, okay, when did Animal Crossing come out?
In March.
COVID happened in March. Okay.
Yep. COVID happened in February, but they didn't go like.
Well, everybody started shutting down in March, though.
March, yeah.
I feel like it's a little too on the nose if they do it in March. Even though I know for sure March is the beginning of Nintendo's fiscal year. March is the beginning of Nintendo's fiscal year, so maybe, you know. But feel like.
Do you guys remember when the Switch was released?
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they showed off. They showed the thing off in like September, like announced it. They did the.
Things are weird with COVID, man. Everything's been different with the way they announce stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I mean, they're having a fire sale for all their games. You know, Switch is still selling like crazy. They're not going to announce it before Christmas. That's shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, they wouldn't
fire
be
sale. I like that. I like that.
I mean, they wouldn't just do a Saturn. It's just drop it in March. That's crazy.
No, they're not dropping it. We're getting it direct in January.
You're not going to persuade Dan of anything differently. I'm going to say that. And you know what? You know what?
Dan already know that I'm gonna find out where he's at, and I'll be like, I'm gonna need you to get on Skype. He gonna see me with some Annihilators, some red Kool-Aid, and some hot Cheetos eating, and I might have to get my nails done to be like,
was about to say you're gonna be like that meme on Twitter. She just pops the chip in her mouth, the Cheeto in her mouth, and
Yes, that's gonna be me, and I might have to put on the shower cap to make sure that I mean business. That where's the Switch Pro supposed to be at?
You know what, Dan? I'm gonna give you my full energy. So Switch Pro is coming in March. I'm gonna give you my full energy. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes.
So then I gotta call you and let you have it. Okay. Yeah.
I think I've been able to convince everybody I talk to that it's coming in March, except for Ed.
Oh, well, that's because Ed's on Nintendo's payroll. He knows something we don't. Ultimately, he knows something we don't. So Ed, when is Mario Strikers coming to Switch? I will.
Sluggers.
Oh, Sluggers, yes, yeah. Sluggers, my bad. See, if it's Sluggers, I don't care. Like if Mario Strikers, they turn around and say Mario Strikers is coming, I might walk into GameStop and pre-order it. That's how much I do not want to miss this game this time.
I still think that Sluggers could sell systems. I'm just saying, it did it for the Wii.
Oh, my favorite Ed take ever. I love it.
Actually,
it's the best.
If Nintendo wants to bring out a sports game that'll sell some Switches, bring back Mario Golf.
Mario Golf is
Bring back Mario Golf.
Yeah, that
I honestly haven't bought a Mario Golf game since GameCube. Actually, that was probably the last one. Oh no, they made a couple for 3DS.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, if I'm on Nintendo's payroll, please, if you're on Sony's payroll, I need them to come out with that Resistance trilogy for PlayStation 5. Like, I need that. So, LeRon, if you know something, I'm going to need to slide $10 to you to find out what's going on.
Trust. Well, let's put it this way. If we ever break it on rumor control, that means it's coming.
Yeah. So, everybody...
I'm waiting to break Uncharted 5. starring Chloe and Nadine.
Oh, yes. That's a you know what? Man, I was thinking about going back playing that DLC because it's so good. There's like, I know there's stuff that I missed, but I'm just like, man, this game it's better than 4 in a sense. Like, I love that game. But everybody, we're gonna get into playing with Power. Dan, what have you been playing with Power?
So I downloaded Ni no Kuni. It was on sale for $15 on this eShop. I had never played that before, and it's a really good game. The art style is super cool. It has a unique kind of battle system where you summon familiars to fight with you. The art style with the cell shading, almost like cartoonish. It's so cool. It's so unique, and it's been like a really refreshing game for me. So I'm very happy I'm playing it.
It's
probably
still
about.
It's still on sale.
Yeah.
It's 70%. It's 70% off. No, it says 9 more. It says 9 more days on my eShop.
It's worth the purchase.
See, I played it on PC, and there's some things about it that pissed me off. So I may, but I played it on a friend, so I don't actually own the game. But I mean, this looks like a handheld mode game. I'll tell you what, like I'm probably gonna beat all my Nintendo games in handheld mode.
And that's the thing. Like I've been playing it in handheld mode, just like sitting on the couch, relaxing, playing it. It's not a game that's blowing me away, but it's a game that just like is super fun. Like it's so relaxing, it's so chill, and it's kind of the JRPG I needed right now. So I'm happy I'm playing it.
When I heard that Studio Ghibli did the art for it, I was just like, "Oh, this is an automatic purchase." Like
I wish Studio Ghibli was a hard sale for me like that, but it's not. I love a lot of their art style and a lot of their work, but I mean, I don't know, like it's just not one of those ones that moves the earth for me enough to say I'm going to get it.
Well, it is level 5 too, so
level 5, which I'm hoping the news that we're hearing about level 5 is not true. I hope they've got some more fuel in the tank.
Yeah, and they're the ones that did Snack World, Daniel. Level 5
nice.
is. So
So I've been playing that. I've really been grinding with Sephiroth on Smash Brothers, and I'm really winning some matches with him. He's a blast to play.
you're
and
a devil. I haven't played. I don't have it yet, but I can't wait to fight you against him just to see. I'm like, this man is gonna be a devil in this game. I'm gonna just.
Oh my God! Immortals Phoenix Rising is already on sale.
Yeah, it was on sale last week.
Yeah. And I actually, for you, Ed, I've been working on a me brawler so I can brawl with you.
Yes.
And I've just been getting a look back into Animal Crossing a little bit. Ariel and I have been getting into the winter stuff that they're doing, which is pretty fun. So that's what I've been playing.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Dan, congratulations on getting engaged. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. LeRon, what have you been playing? What you been playing with Power?
Cyberpunk 2077, of course, but like I said earlier, I'm taking the night off from Cyberpunk and I'm playing some Fire Emblem tonight. Like, I mean, shoot, like I'm in great company, so I'm feeling the Nintendo love tonight. So my Switch.
Where are you in it?
Where am I?
Probably
okay.
further than Ed, but
Well, I mean, well, for sure, I've gotten past the mock battle. As a matter of fact, I've had a couple of battles since then, but I think I've been doing optional quests. I haven't been doing the story stuff just yet.
Gotcha.
God, I'll update you. I'll update you when I turn on tonight because I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of time playing it tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take my contact lenses out, put my nerd glasses on, and get in bed and pull up my Switch.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna restart from the beginning, cause I forgot where I'm at. But I'm gonna redo it and stuff. I still got
so
the blue
fun.
house. It really is. Anything else, LeRon? Or that's it?
That's it because right now Cyberpunk is taking all my attention up and Fire Emblem is actually the game when I'm trying not to be serious, even though that sounds bad. It sounds like I'm insulting Fire Emblem, but I mean I'm one of those people. I can't play more than 2 games at once, and typically I'm playing one game seriously, and the other game is just my distraction from being serious on the other game.
But the
So
thing with like Fire Emblem is you kind of know what time restraint you're in with it. You're like, I'm gonna go into Fire Emblem and do like one battle.
Yeah.
And it's like you can pick it up, play for 15, 20 minutes, and then put it back down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Well, what I've been playing with Power is I finished Breath of the Wild for Nintendo Switch. I got my 4 Yoshi coins, and at the end I was playing the backlog challenge and stuff.
You finished Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, I finished it today. So
I don't even believe it.
I know. It feels like my ears are about to start bleeding or something.
Like you say, how did you spend 4 years? I'm like, it's only been out for 3. I'm like, can y'all add 17 to 20 is 3? Like, it's not 2021. That's 4 years.
We just feel your pedigree of Nintendo. Like this game should have been like a wrap the first year it was out.
Well,
I beat it 3 times.
Well, the thing about it is that I bought it, like I said, I bought it for Wii U. I got to the point where I got the Master System, but then I ended up getting the Switch. And so I got Breath of the Wild for it because I had bought Breath of the Wild for Wii U and Switch. And so I was just like, once I get the system, I'll just redo everything on Switch. And so when I got it, I just started redoing everything on Switch because I wasn't playing my Wii U that much since I had the new system. And then just when that happened, there were so many games coming out, and plus we weren't going out of business yet at Toys, but I was just still playing stuff for every other system. I was jumping around a lot, and that was the only reason. So when I stopped playing Breath of the Wild, it's because I was playing other Nintendo games and other indies and stuff, and finishing stuff on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like I was jumping around. So my plan was to play all the way through, but I just ended up jumping around. So I got back to it, I got committed, and I finished the game. So I am happy. No one can make no jokes about it. So that's one Switch game down. 18 more to go. On top of my multiple indies.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. Like I still I'm glad Logan's probably gonna be listening to this later, but I still haven't gotten around to Horizon Zero Dawn. and I have a PlayStation 5 now.
Oh, that offends me.
Well, that's
That
the
game
funny.
was a blast.
And the thing
Oh.
about it, I had to finish Horizon Zero Dawn before I did Breath of the Wild. That's how quickly I had to move.
I'm gonna say I think Aloy is one of my favorite video game protagonists. She is a badass.
Honestly,
Like such a great character.
I still don't understand why I have not gotten to it because Horizon Zero Dawn is the closest thing to Monster Hunter without it being Monster Hunter, in my opinion. Just the way the game looks and the way the game feels and the way the game plays. I mean, you're basically hunting down these giant mechanized monstrosities and stuff, but it's basically it basically feels like if you were to pick up a character in Monster Hunter and you're playing with the bow.
The controls are so tight in that game too. Horizon Zero Dawn is really it's a masterpiece. I loved that game.
Dan, I was mad at the first time they showed it. I was just like, I'm not buying this because I was upset with Horizon, but I was just like, I'm gonna give this game a fair shot, and it became in 2017 that and Breath of the Wild were my game of the years. It literally turned me around because as much as I like,
they came out at the same time. That's right.
Yeah, it was like a couple, like 3 weeks apart and stuff. And like, yeah, it was just like I didn't expect Guerrilla Games to do something different like this, make this beautiful world, and then have all this diversity in their side characters, and it was just like wow. So that's what I've been doing. I've been playing Cyberpunk on Xbox One. Been playing Spider-Man on PS4, but I'm about to take that out and put in Final Fantasy VII remake because I'm about to work on that. And I'm going to be meeting everybody's challenge and stuff because I still have Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS4, but I got to install it and everything. I just installed Need for Speed Heat, or the last Need for Speed game that came out, because I got that for Black Friday for like $10. So that's all installed. But yeah, I've been playing that. I played a little bit of Just Shapes and Beats. I haven't started the Bravely Default 2 demo yet. I started a little bit of Collection of Saga Final Fantasy. I don't know what the heck that I'm doing, so I had to.
So I actually downloaded the Bravely Default 2 demo as well, and I saw that you can't carry over your saves.
Mm-hmm.
So I had played the Bravely Default the first time it came out.
Yeah.
And man, they really listened to the feedback, and like the controls feel so nice and it feels really good. So I played it for about 20 minutes and it's going to be a day one purchase for me. And that's all I needed.
Yeah, by the time you buy it, Dan, I'll be buying it too. Like I'll be at the store. I got a demo called When the Past Was Around. They showed this at the last Indie Direct. I'm gonna wait till I get paid again, and I'm gonna full out buy it. I really love this game. At Calico, I picked up that's BU Wholesome Games. They from their direct and Indie Direct. Just a beautiful cat game. I know Celeste been enjoying it. I picked up Tanuki Justice, like this 2D arcade game, really fun. I've been getting my tail kick in Smash Brothers, and I love playing with David and Dan, just having a ball with it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing with Power, and that's going to be the show, everybody. Thank you, community, to our listeners. You have gotten us over 2,000 listens. Thank you very much for listening to Pow Block in 2020. We couldn't do the show without you guys. I know there was a change in the host roles with Corey and me, but like, thank you guys for being just open and loving, and welcome to all the hosts and all the co-hosts, all our guests, having fun with us, enjoying Snacktendo, letting us know what you guys think of and everything, helping us root on everybody else on different platforms, continuing to be like positive in the gaming, giving us recommendations. We really thank you guys for that. It really means a lot to us. Let me get into the backlog challenge. So 2021, we're starting again our Boss Rush backlog challenge. The rules are that you can play any game from 2020 and lower on any platform. The only thing is you can't play anything that was released in 2021 and get points. So no new games and stuff. So if it came in March and you just started playing in November, it doesn't count. You can't play you can play arcade games, but it doesn't count for any of the points. The way that the system goes is that if you complete a game 100%, got everything, you get 5 Yoshi coins. If you do a first party game, it's 4 Yoshi coins. So that means that even if that first party published the game and didn't develop it, you still get those 4 coins. Third party are 3 coins. Indie games are 2 coins, and if by the end of the year you get 50% of the game done and don't finish it, you still get 1 coin. If you're playing these games on easy, you got to drop everything by 1 coin. But if you still do the 50% one, you'll still stay at your 1 coin. You do still get something for it. It's to help you clear off your backlog and just completely have fun. You could do import games, PC, VR, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, mobile, wherever you play games at, you can. It's just that collections, if you are going to do it, that's not an arcade collection like the Phoenix Wright one. You have to beat all 3 games. You have to beat that whole collection. We do want you guys to show pictures to show that you did beat it. So you could do it at Pow Block or at Pow Block, our Twitter page, or you could do it at Boss Rush Network Twitter page or our Facebook page at Boss Rush Games. Just show us a picture saying, hey, I beat this, and then add your coins up. This is a free thing to help everybody get their backlog. At the end of the year, when it hits December 31st, you go total up your games, and show how many coins you got, and be proud that you achieved something. It's not a race. You have all year to beat these games and everything. So with that, everybody, LeRon, where can we find you?
You can find me on social media at Exodus803. That's EXODUS803. It's also, you can also use it to find my Twitch channel where I host Crossroads every Tuesday night, except for this week because we have the week off. And also, that is also my gamer tag. So PSN, Xbox, Steam, all the places, that's where I'm at.
Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at DCDM99. Check out our articles on BossRushGames.com and join our Discord. It's fun. We're starting to get some conversations up and going on pretty much every day. So join us there. You can find it on, I believe, our main Twitter page at Boss Rush Network.
Yes. You guys can find me on Twitter at that retro code. You can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast apps. And yes, everybody have a great week. Have a great weekend. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. To those who celebrated Hanukkah, hopefully you had a great Hanukkah. We will see you guys in 2021, January 4th. We will be back. And yeah, everybody, thank you once again. And as always, let's continue to be better and to one another and play video games. And that's it for this year's for Nintendo Pow Block. We will see you next time, everybody. Peace. Woo-hoo.
Happy New Year, everyone.